Welcome everyone to IE 342 Quality Control, and today is inshallah we will continue chapter 1. We have talked about the quality definition, the quality dimension, and some of the famous scientists in the quality in the last lecture. And today inshallah we'll continue with some quality organizations and quality standards award, as well as some of the quality methods in general. This course, since it's focusing on the quality control and the book is focusing also on the quality control, the total quality management that presented here was not enough mentioned in the textbook. Therefore, I'm not going to consider those two slides about the total quality management in this course, because really it doesn't give the whole picture about the TQM. It is unbiased picture, since it is really considering that the cons of the TQM, or total quality management, and didn't show the pros and the advantages of the total quality management. TQM was not in general succeeded in implementation as the quality improvement methods, as the other quality control also methods. TQM known to be costing in terms of implementation, and was not showing the progress as the other methods. That's why if we rank the quality in general applications and methods, TQM does not come in the first 2 or 3 top methods. Therefore, we are going to skip this part, and in the quality management course, the whole picture about the TQM, it is provided there, and also it gives the advantages of the TQM. Is not in general that it means it is absolute method that is not effective. It has effectiveness, but if you implement it in the right way and you consider all the constraints and challenges in implementing the TQM. So we will proceed with the quality systems and standard. And here is the important part, which I would like you to understand and learn, because this is one of the things that is applicable until now in all the countries, not only here in Saudi Arabia. When we start here with the ISO, it is global. Many countries adopting ISO standards, and we will talk about what is the ISO. We will also demonstrate their website, and we will demonstrate how you apply for the ISO as an organization based on your sector, and we'll continue with other methods. So the ISO, it stands for International Standards Organization, ISO. It is started on 1946 in Switzerland, and the ISO, it is categorized based on 3 standards, which is the fundamentals, which is the ISO 9000 2000, then the requirements, which is the 9001 2000, the 9004, which is the guidelines for performance and improvement. Nowadays, we have more than those, and it is being largely increased in terms of the sectors that is covered by ISO. The ISO, to make it simple for you to understand what is ISO, maybe we hear it a lot, but I would like to hear if the students maybe they have some information about ISO here. You can participate before we proceed. So anyone has anything would like to add about the ISO or know about the ISO, he would like to share it with us here. Okay, so we will demonstrate the ISO 8 requirements or 8 focus that is all the ISO standards is focusing on, but in the ISO 9001, it defines them. Companies certified by ISO, some of the students participated. Yes, you can be certified by ISO. And what does that mean? We will explain that briefly here, because as we said, this is not the scope of this course, but also we can cover it here in brief. So the 8 clauses of the ISO 9001, the scope, the normative, the references, definition, quality management system, and this is very important to ISO. What is your quality management system in the organization or the company? The management responsibility in the quality, it has to be clearly identified. Resources management, product or service realization, and the measurement, analysis, and improvement. Those are from 4 to 8. They are the most important by ISO. The process starts by registering in their website and then apply for the visit of the auditors. So they come and make sure that you are meeting their standards. I will share with you the screen now, and I will show you the website of ISO. Can you see the screen? Okay, good. So this is their website. This is the ISO website. And from here, you can apply for the ISO certificates as a company based on your area. There are different standards and different certificates. And also it talks about SASCO, which is the conformity assessment and testing, which is equivalent to هيئة المواصفات والمقاييس here in Saudi Arabia, and how you get the certificates of ISO management standards based on the area. For example, if you are, let's say, in the food industry, so there is a certificate for the food industry itself, and you can purchase the standards here, for example, from the website, and to show you what is the requirement, what is how the procedure is for the standards. For example, if you are like Safola or Al-Mara'i or any food industry, you can apply for this certificate. If you are in healthcare, you have another certificate. Now they are specialized in their standard certificates, and they show you the equivalence of the new certificate, how it is equal to the old one. For example, 22,000, 2005, it is equivalent to this one, which is 2018. That means it is being updated. And also it shows you I will show you the requirement for one of the examples here. Yeah, for example, this is the food certificate. And if you see, this is the requirement, or summarizing the requirement of the the ISO 22005, which is now it is updated 2018. What you can see here, I would like to draw to you. Do you remember this graph, or do you remember this cycle where we checked this, or where we have seen this one? Plan, do, check, act. Do you recall where we covered this in the course? Anyone? Sheward, Ahsan Sultan, thank you. Yeah, Sheward, and we said that also it called under Deming. So as you can see, even the ISO standards, it is requiring to have a cycle for improvement, a cycle for assurance, and basically also shows you the scope, what is the definitions that needed, and audit requirements, and all the requirements for that certificate. So when you go and purchase that and follow the procedure, you can request for the auditors to make the visit and make sure that you are meeting their requirements to be certified. Let me go back to the session here. In the ISO, you don't expect to have that, meaning you are providing a high quality product. And this has to be clarified to understand what is the meaning of ISO. And here it says that the ISO certification process focus on the quality assurance without sufficient weight given to quality planning, quality control, and improvement. It doesn't mean that it doesn't have quality control and planning. No, but it says the quality assurance is the main factor that they are focusing. Here is a story from Ford company, the automotive the car industrial manufacturer, that happened from 1999 and 2000 for a model car which is Explorer. That car has an issue, even though the company and those tires that were used by Bridgestone was certified by ISO, even though that was certified at the factory, but the company involved in a case where there was 300 deaths caused by failure in the car and the tires that used in that car, and it cost the Bridgestone company, the tires company, 6.5 million tires to fix that issue, even though they were certified. What does that mean? It means that ISO does not guarantee to you the product has a high quality, but it guarantees to you there is a quality management system in the factory or in the company that has a policy and procedure in designing, producing, and solving problems when it comes. So if a company like this one here has the same issue, but it was not approved by the ISO, they were not going to be showing that issues in transparent like that and doing the recall for those cars or for those cars tires and refunding the consumers. So companies who's going to be certified, they are not meaning that they are providing the best quality of products. On the other hand, SASCO, which is another agency in ISO. By the way, I will send you the link for ISO here on the chat box. So if you would like to enter their website and get more information. Like هيئة المواصفات والمقاييس here, they are the one responsible to make sure the functionality of the product that produced and it is meeting the specification among the global. For example, we have a power cord extension, توصيلة كهرباء. If it's been certified by SASCO or equivalence organizations, that means this equipment is functioning globally by the same way. Is not different if you use product, the same product from different company, as long all of them, they are certified from this agency. So when you see those certificates like CE and so on underneath the product, that means the product is meeting the requirement of the specification. But the ISO, when it is certifying a company or a factory, it is certifying the process, the assurance, and we talked about the assurance. What does the assurance mean? Is you guarantee there is a procedure and policy for fixing problems or issues when it appears. So that's some information about ISO. I'm expecting from you, you read those parts and you know what is the 8 clauses or 8 factors that ISO relying on, and what does the ISO focus on, and also the definition or this and the abbreviation of ISO. Moving over to another standards. The date is not really important. There is a question about when it was founded. It doesn't have to be memorized, but you know, it is in the 1970s. That's all. It is for your information, but is not has to be memorized. Another standards or another quality practice is the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. The Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, this is created in US in 1987. And it is awarding the organizations in US who has meeting the excellence or the level of excellence in the quality practice. They have different segments. They have 5 segments or 5 categories, depends on the organization: manufacturing organization, service, small businesses, healthcare, and education. Usually 3 awards given in every year for each category. And to give you something that equivalent to the Malcolm Baldrige here in Saudi Arabia and in our region, I don't really focus here about the Malcolm Baldrige since it's only applied in United States. The author mentioned that since the author originality is from there, but we have our own award, which also I will share with you now, the screen to demonstrate it. Is everyone can see the screen? Okay, thank you. The one here we have it in Saudi Arabia called King Abdulaziz Quality Award, جائزة الملك عبد العزيز للجودة. This is very famous in Saudi Arabia, and we heard a lot of names. Al-Mara'i, one of the examples, who has this award before, and other organization. The award, if you look to how it is their requirements and how it is focusing on the policy, planning, assurance, quality improvement, quality control, it will draw you, or it will take you back to the beginning of our last lecture when we talked about the management of quality or managing quality. It requires three things. We talked about planning, we talked about assurance, and then the improvement and control. It is similar, but you see it in different dimensions. For example, here, Murtakazat, or what is relying on the award is the quality excellence, or the level of excellence specification or standards, and tools for assessments in the organization. This is the link for the platform, or for the application. The application, it is very large. It's about 83 pages. I would really invite you to read it for your own understanding and for own expanding about quality, knowing that, and when you join any company, that it could be one of their goals to achieve it and achieve this award. Even government organizations are also in the competition here. This is the table of content. It shows you the template, the philosophy, and many other things. Like, for example, here, the matrix for how to measure the quality in your organization, and the quality standards, and so on. If you read this document, you will see it that also is not different than the Malcolm Baldrige that we covered in our class. And that's why I showed you our example, and I would like you to read it and know about the King Abdulaziz Quality Award, because it is equivalent to their award, and even it is more comprehensive. Also, there is the Middle East award, what they call it, the Leaders Excellence Award, which is in the region, not only in Saudi Arabia. It has the same thing. It is covering the three pillars of the quality, which is the management, the planning of the strategy, the assurance, and the quality improvement and control. Let's go back to our slides again. If you have any questions so far. Okay, this is the structure of the Malcolm Baldrige. And as you can see here from the figure, you see the planning, and you see the management, you see the results, you see the customer focus. Recall when we talked about the planning, we talked about the customer requirements, human resources, and the process management, the analysis of the information. All these criteria in the Malcolm Baldrige, you will see it also in the King Abdulaziz Award, and you will see it in the Middle East Excellence Award, but in a different, maybe, or slight information differently compared to each other. But they are always focusing on the three things, which is planning of the strategy, quality assurance, quality improvement, and control. I'm expecting from you to understand the structure, to know what it should include, because this, what include here, it is included in all other awards, and it is one of the criteria that is required for implementing quality assurance. You don't have to know what is the procedure for the Malcolm Baldrige, because each award has their own steps, and they have their own policy and implementation, and we are not limited to this award. But here, what you see it in the criteria, it is almost similar as the King Abdulaziz, and I didn't want to give you that one as is, because it is more comprehensive and is not part of the textbook. But I really invite you to read it and I will give you the link for the King Abdulaziz Award for quality, as well as the Middle East Award for quality, so you can read it your own as an extra reading. But for the steps here is not required, but you know that it is application, and then after the application there are examiners, and then until the judgment says their results or feedback to the organization. Now we have talked about the, you mean for which one, for which certification? There is a question here, how long is the certification? When you talk about the award, it is, okay, the ISO. The ISO, it is something that ongoing, you have to show ongoing reports to be continuously certified. It's not about you getting certified once and you don't report to the organization again. So there is always reporting, but the applying, you apply it once. When you get it, then you have it. But then you have to keep always reporting to the organization, to the headquarters in Geneva. A progress report template has to be frequently sent to them. For example, I will give you an example here, maybe close to our service here in the education. You hear about ABIT, which is the accreditation agency for engineering programs over the world. It started in US and then expanded to be over the world. And maybe you hear the College of Engineering, it's about, inshallah, to apply, and they will have the visit very soon, maybe by November 21, to our college, to all the 4 programs. Having the accreditation does not mean that you are certified forever. Every 5 to 6 years, you have to re-evaluate your program. Auditors, they have to visit the college again. Sometimes, in some cases, even every 1 or 2 years, reports has to be sent to ABIT for validating and verifying that the quality of the programs are meeting the requirements by ABIT. So those certificates, even though that you have earned them, does not mean that you are going to stop providing documents that shows you are implementing those standards in your organization. Basically, there is some of the professors that in quality, he gave me that statements once when we were discussing about the ISO, and I will convey it to you, which is really helpful, and it's very easy statement that gives you what is ISO about. ISO asks you to write what you are doing and show me how you are doing it. See, how is it? Write what you are doing and show me how you are doing it. This is all what is about the ISO. ISO is not that meaning I'm developing the best quality product. Is how you are developing this product and show me in reality how you are developing, and in the development only, not just the producing. It is also including how risk being considered, how maintenance and failure being resolved, and so on. Yes. The last, or maybe in the second part of this methods here, we will talk about things more closer now to the quality control, which is the Six Sigma and lean practices and cost of quality. We will go briefly on the cost of quality, but Six Sigma, it is more close to our class quality control comparing to the ISO, TQM, and all the previous methods. Since those methods are more of closing to the quality management. And if we are taking quality management course, we will go in depth in those methods. Also, if you are taking those courses in the future, you can explore more about those methods. But in the Six Sigma here, it is more related to the quality control. We will go in depth in the Six Sigma here in this course. We will have a whole chapter about Six Sigma. And today we will just cover briefly about it. I would like to have now and hear from the students, what do you know about Six Sigma, and have you heard about it? Have you entered any training sessions about the Six Sigma? So you would like to share it with us. You can use the mic. I believe today, inshallah, the speakers are fine because I can hear speakers working. So you can join by the chat box and participate, or you have the mic to share with us your information about Six Sigma. Okay, it has more than one level: black, yellow. Okay, those are the level of the practitioners of Six Sigma, starting from white, which sometimes be neglected, and they start from yellow, then green, black, and then the master black. This is as a professional or practitioner of Six Sigma. And there are authentic organizations who give you the certificates to be certified. Also, there are some institutes also give those trainings, but the authentic name for approving and approving you as a practitioner in Six Sigma, those are very few. And internationally, ASQ, American Society for Quality, School of Harrington, those are one of the few authentic names to give you a certificate in Six Sigma. But in the local, you see some institutes, they give that, but the authentication of their certificate is not considered internationally, but always the information and the knowledge, it's available everywhere. You can explore and learn and self-learn about Six Sigma from all the online resources and websites. It is a method that provides tools to improve processes. Hassan, thank you, Hassan. This is a good statement. Standard seeking improvements for quality. Okay, improving. Always we are talking here about improving and controlling. The Six Sigma, it is when it started from statistics and analysis, and then it becomes a whole methodology and a framework. Six Sigma originated by Motorola company in 1987, and then General Electric has taken it to the level where we see it now today. If you work in GE, I have the chance to take a training in General Electric in 2003. And until today, if you work or being trained in General Electric, Six Sigma is one of the modules that they have it in their learning system, that all employees, all trainers, they have to be taking. That is not a must, but it is one of the recommended training packages. They have their own training package by GE. So all employees are familiar with Six Sigma who are working in General Electric. Another point added by Raed, I think there are differences between Lean, Six Sigma. Yes, there is difference between Lean and Six Sigma. They are combined now in terms of the framework of implementing the MAKE framework, but as a concept or methods, yeah, they are different. We will talk about that, inshallah, briefly today and explain it later in depth. Focus of the Six Sigma, it is for improving the process, emphasizing on achieving significant business impact. So when you see the process improvement, here is what is the unique about the Six Sigma. It is using analytical tool, not qualitative tools only, both, but it is focusing on the analytical tools to improve the processes. It is a sequence of activity, so it is rigid. It has a systematic order in the implementation. It can be done only to improve a specific process in the organization. You don't have to implement it in the whole organization. One of my capstone projects students, they are working on implementing Six Sigma in a process in the Saudi Post office in Medina. The Saudi Post office in Medina and all the other regions, they have different of processes or several processes. This team only focused on one process and identified that there is a potential to implement Six Sigma to improve their process. So it is basically, it doesn't have to be entirely in the whole organization, but what you need really before to implement Six Sigma on any project, you need the top management support in implementing the Six Sigma, because you will require information and also changes when improvement plan comes. It needs approval from the management. So the process focus is essential to Six Sigma. This is very important statement. And any process can be improved. An organized approach to improvement is necessary. So those information is very important about the Six Sigma. I would like to highlight it. When we talk about this slide here, I like to summarize it in a way that students can observe it easier than looking to the figures. If I told you that a restaurant is working at 99% of quality conformity to the requirement, would you consider that it's a high quality or a good quality or average quality? High quality. Okay. High. Good. Okay. Great. Now, I will just skip this line and come back to it again. If you are performing 99% in a good quality, and you have, let's say, 10 components in the food, for example, here the hamburger considered has the bun, which is the bread, meat, special sauce, pickles, onion, lettuce, tomato, fries, and drink. So those the component. A single meal, the probability of a single meal, which has 99%, it is around 90%. Okay? Family of 4 members, they visit this restaurant once a month. The probability of having all the good meals are becoming 66%. The probability of visiting the same family every month, once a time, who has 4 members during the year, to have a good products, it is 0.008. That's mean to have a 99%, meaning that if you are selling thousands or hundreds of that product every day, you will consider a huge ratio of not meeting the requirements daily. There is a table, I will share it inshallah when we have the Six Sigma chapter with you, shows you how it is risk for companies or production or services who are targeting high quality to perform at 99%. 99% statistically, meaning that if the process is standardized, then you will have, what is that? Here is the 99. You will have the 2000 700 defective per million opportunity. This is the even not 99, this is 99.73. If you have a flexibility in the process, so there is a room for moving 1.5 standard deviation around the specification. So the specification is, for example, the meal to have the French fries crunchy from the outside, soft from inside, the temperature of the oil is that level, the burger is cooked on the certain level. McDonald's policy, when they started this franchise and it becomes global in over the world, they started with very specific specifications. They were very tight in a way that they count the number of pickles. It has to be 3 pickles in the burger only, no more, no less. The amount of ketchup or sauce or whatever they used that time when they started, it was measured by a machines that they cannot make any mistakes. Human, they don't have interaction regarding to the sauce enter the sandwich. The temperature of the fries, it has to be in a certain level. And the time for the fries to be inside the oil, it has a timer, and then it has to go in a other process to have it drained from the oil and then salt being. So it is very specific. I will send you later a link for a movie that talks about McDonald's story when it started. You will see what we mean by 99% is not acceptable in the industry. If you would like to achieve Six Sigma level, you should have maintained the 99.9996 at the 1.5 standard deviation freedom to move around the center line. If your process is centered, that's mean the average cannot be moved to the upper or to the lower side. That means you have to perform at the 99.698 to achieve the highest level. Note that if you are performing at Six Sigma level, which is the 99.99, you have a defective of 3, which is 3.4 defective out of million opportunity, out of million. If you count now the mega production with the large number of services, how many service transactions bank perform every day, Al-Ahli or Al-Rajhi or any name of bank? How many service transaction, wiring, withdrawing, purchasing online, depositing, wiring from one of your account to another, purchasing stock from the stock markets. You can name all the names of the transactions that conducted by the bank daily, 24 hours, through the phone, through the application, through the branches. If you are performing 99%, you are going to have more than 3,000 mistakes of transactions. That's mean you will have a chance to have a 3,000 loss, maybe wiring transactions or false withdrawal or so on. I will show you later, inshallah, when we come to the Six Sigma chapter, more information about how it is a threat to work at 99%. And that is the reason when you go to some places, you see the service provided, it varies over the times. Sometimes you wait long, sometimes you wait less, and sometimes you have the food cooked in a different way, is not meeting sometimes your expectation, sometimes the waiters are not well trained, and so on. So speaking about how it is important to maintain Six Sigma level in terms of statistical level, it is focusing in all type of organizations or nature of companies or government sectors. Banking, finance, public sectors is like government sector, services. And also there is the design for Six Sigma. It is a step ahead of the Six Sigma. It is before you design the process, you design it in a way to perform at the Six Sigma level, or you design the product to be produced at the Six Sigma level. There are commercial applications about Six Sigma, and I will show you more of those later on in the future when we come to the chapter. But for example, the payroll accuracy, that is, for example, like your allowance, مكافأتك. If the Six Sigma, if you are not having a high standard of quality process to payroll your مكافأة, there is a chance that you will have it late. There is a chance to have it not wired into your account, or you will have a wrong amount entered to your account, and so on. The Sigma, it is involving 5 steps, which is known as the make, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And the people who practice Six Sigma are the professionals, practitioners of Six Sigma. Their roles in the Six Sigma project as starting from champions, master black belts, then the green belts. Those are common to be seen in Six Sigma projects. The master black belt, the black belt, the green belt, even the yellow belts are all the one who are going to perform the make phases. The champions is usually the one he is from the top management in the company, or doing the logistics between the top management and the Six Sigma team. The black belt and the master black belt responsible for defining the project, the leadership, the training, mentoring the team. Usually the green belt and the yellow belt more in the statistical tools and analysis, but also the black belt sometimes also they be involving in all the steps, depend on how the project is big. I've been working in projects that contain more than 30 people in the team, and they've been divided into 5 groups, and each group is tackling a certain process. So the master black belt that time and the black belt usually are monitoring the process. And also I worked in project where are only up to 10 people in the project. So even the black belt, master black belt, they participate and work with the team as well as the monitoring. The design for Six Sigma, we are going also to mention about the design for Six Sigma when we have the Six Sigma chapter or the DMake, but it's basically start from the customer requirements, you identify it, then the parameters you put it, and then you start to check that whether those requirements are feasible and applicable before you go and implement it in the design for Six Sigma. The design for Six Sigma, they have 5 phases, different slightly than the DMake. They call it design, measure, analyze, define, measure, analyze, design, verify, DMADV, DMADV, DMADV. We will cover that inshallah later, but this is just an overview here about the Six Sigma. It is meeting the requirements of the customers. This is the basic, even for the Six Sigma, not only the design for Six Sigma. You have to listen to the customers or the stakeholders of the process to know where is the issues and dig inside to make the specification of the product or the service meet the requirements of the customers. There are tools that used by each phase in the Six Sigma. For example, in the define, you will have a project charter, team charter, communication, application tool, and so on. In the measure, you will have voice of the customer, CTQ. In the analyze phase, you will have fishbone diagram. Improve phase, plenty of tools can be implemented in the improve phase, and that is the unique about Six Sigma. Six Sigma can carry a lot of other tools than the statistical. For example, you can use arena, you can use facility layout, you can use any application that can improve the process can be carried in the improve phase. That's why the improve phase is the unique part about the Six Sigma. It is not limited to only one or two tools, like the other phases. The control, we have a lot of control tools. Most common is the control charts, which we will cover also, inshallah, in this semester in the future chapters. The lean system, which is talked here previously by some of the students. What is the lean system? It is focusing on eliminating the waste. The waste here, any non-value added activity, any non-value added activity. It could be motion, it could be cycle time, it could be a queue, it could be material, all that considered to be a waste if it's not added activity. For example, imagine that you enter to service sector. You are expecting to be served, for example, to do certain services in that organization. You enter there, you find the staff, they are talking to each other about something not related to the work, and you are waiting there. This is considered waste, even from the perspective from the process, not only the customers. But also another example of waste, for example, you are using a workflow design that need from the employee or the labor or the technicians to move long distances to provide or do certain steps. At this time, even the motion that is related to the work, but it was designed in a way that is consuming time from the staff and the labor, and it can be reduced and can be optimized, so that is considered to be a waste. Make use of many of the tools of operations. Work measurement, some students says it is similar to work measurement. Work measurement is to standardize the process, to standardize. Here you are looking in the lean to reduce the waste. You cannot reduce the waste if you do not standardize it first. You have to know the average people working on a certain task, how much time they need, and also the standard of the workflow. It has to be designed in a way to optimize the work flow, and then you can say that you are implementing lean. But the work measurement, it applies practices on number of human activities to measure or to standardize that certain task. For example, it asks you to, let's say, to do assembly for some parts in the manufacturing or the factoring line. Assembling those parts between Ra'id, Khalid, Sultan, if we ask them the first time it until the 10th time to do it, definitely it will vary, maybe in a few seconds, if it was about a couple of minutes, between those three. If we increase the number of people participating, you will have a different measuring time. So the work measurement give you the standardized time for that task, considering all the variation between human, especially if human being is interacting with that process. So did you get the difference between the work measurement and the lean? The lean comes when work measurement is already done, and then you don't put a standard for that process longer than the standardized time. For example, assembling those parts, it takes 5 minutes in average or as a standard. So you don't put, let's say, 6 or 7 or 10 minutes, because that's mean you have a lack of training in your organization. You didn't train your labor in a way to perform the task during the standardized time. Toyota, they are pioneer in that. I can spend maybe one lecture talking about Toyota concept of how they are standardizing even the screwdriver or the tiny small screw in the car, how it has a specification time to be tightened by the labor or by the machine. And that's why their car maker or their industry in the car making, it was a well-known about high quality standards. The lean focus on eliminating waste. It's a set of methods and tools used to eliminate waste in a process and helps identifying anything not absolutely required to deliver a quality product on time. So this is very important, the definition of the lean. And the benefits of using the lean, it is to reduce inventory, lead time, and cost, and motion, and so on. It not only limited to those. Lean methods increase productivity of the process, the quality of the process, on-time delivery, so you don't have delay, the capacity, so you can carry more transactions because you don't have waste of time, and sales of the products or even the service. Those are very important. I'm expecting you understand them very well about the lean focus. Here are the Six Sigma and the design for Six Sigma, how they can fit together, and how the lean also can be implemented with them. As the Six Sigma is focusing on reducing the variability, and the variability, when we mention it, we mention it about when we talked about the 99%, and that is exactly the variability percentage. If you have a 99% of conformity to the specification, that means you have a 1% of variability. And as we said, when you multiply that in the number of transactions provided every day and every year, with the large number of increasements now in the nowadays compared to previous, so that is not considered to be acceptable. In all days when the control chart was established by Shewhart, that was in almost in 80s, in 1980s or so, the 3 Sigma level was considered to be acceptable level in quality, because that time the automation and the mega selling and mega services and the infrastructure was not equivalent to today. Today, people are more demanding. People, they don't want to wait as they used to. They would like to have the services simultaneously. That's why we have the technology apps and all that to reduce the time for waiting, reduce the time for ordering. Foods can come to your door. You don't have to drive and wait in the restaurant, and so on. In lean, it eliminates the waste and improve the cycle time, as you can see in the middle. The Six Sigma, it is reducing the the variability and the defects, which is the mistakes in the process. The variation reduction is the target of the Six Sigma, and the lean is the focus of the lean implementation to reduce the waste, the cycle time, and the operations. The design for Six Sigma is the robust design and meet the requirement of the product or the services when it's being designed from the beginning. The most common to be implemented in reality are those together, the Six Sigma and Lean. Design for Six Sigma, really it is for those practitioners and industry and corporations that adopting Six Sigma for decades. So it is part of their culture, like when we talked about Toyota, General Electric, Motorola, and so on. But for a new company or a new corporation start to try to fix their problems first and to implement the design for Six Sigma from the beginning, it will require a lot of effort to implement it, because you need to spread the culture first so it can be implemented. The I in DMAIC become designed for Six Sigma. As we said, we can have DMA, DV. The last two letters, the I and C, they become D, which is design, and V for verify the design. The last part, which is the quality costs. The quality costs are categorized in 4 types: the prevention cost, the internal failure cost, the appraisal cost, and the external failure cost. The prevention cost is the cost that you do it to have it in the design or during the design time to avoid problems comes later. The appraisal is the cost that you pay it when mistakes happen, like the maintenance and so on. The external failure is like the warranty charges or return product, and that's why it is always parallel to the appraisal. The internal failure, it is parallel to the prevention because it comes usually in the manufacturing time or in the designing time, not after you produce it to the customers. That was all for the chapter 1. I would like now to have the remaining time to answer all the questions you have regarding to the material we covered. So please, if you have questions, you write it here in the chat box, or you can use the mic